We are also keeping our eyes on the nation's closest congressional race, where a recount is underway to see who will represent Iowa's 2nd congressional district in the U.S. House. Fewer than just 50 votes separate Republican candidate Dr. Mariannette Miller-Meeks from her Democratic opponent, Rita Hart. Earlier, I spoke with Dr. Miller-Meeks about the state of the race and the importance of her Catholic faith. Dr. Mariannette Miller-Meeks joins me now on Skype. Dr. Miller-Meeks, thank you so much for being here. This race is very close, so close, in fact, that some have not officially called it, and there's actually a recount underway. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, the process in Iowa for recount, there's 24 counties in the 2nd Congressional District, and on November 10th, all counties had to do their canvass and their audit, and then they had to have the Board of Supervisors certify those results. That process has already taken place, and at the end of that process, I am ahead of my opponent by 47 votes and the unofficial winner of this election. However, your opponent can call for a recount, an official recount, which they've done. And that recount is made up of a recount board. So each campaign gets to select one person, and then there's a third person. And if the two campaigns can't agree on the third person, a district judge appoints a person. We're in that process now of this recount process. And hopefully through this recount process, it will show what has already been shown before, which was that I'm ahead of my opponent, and that hopefully soon by November 30th, which in Iowa code, you're supposed to have a credentialing as the winner, and I'll be declared the winner of this election, and then be able to join the 117th Congress here in Washington, D.C. in January.
What's this process been like for you?
It certainly is a very stressful process. Campaigns in and of themselves are very stressful, being out in the public, and in very different circumstances with COVID-19 and the pandemic. How much you could do in public, but we door knocked, we would meet with people respecting social distancing and wearing masks. But it's a very stressful process for yourself, and especially for your family members, and especially when you're being attacked. And sometimes you're attacked on your faith as well, too. So I think the process is a stressful one, but we know that that the outcome, the ability to affect policy, and what we have facing our country, especially this election, is extremely important. Freedom of assembly, freedom to practice your religious faith. Those things, I think, were really highlighted in this election time period that haven't been in any other time period. The opposing parties' viewpoints on abortion and life is another extraordinarily important issue. And so I think this election was really a very important election on many fronts and many issues. And I think that helps motivate you to continue to work hard, to know that you can make a difference when you're in Congress.
Quickly, I'd like to let our viewers know a little bit more about you. Can you talk about your background as a veteran, a medical doctor, and a public health official, and also the role that your Catholic faith has played in all of that?
Well, I'm the fourth of 8 children. My father was a master sergeant in the Air Force. My mom had gotten a GED. Both my parents worked to support their 8 children. Both my parents were Catholic. And they raised their children in the Catholic faith. And so that's played a very important role both in my personal life and in my public life. I married a non-Catholic, but he has converted to our faith, and our children were raised Catholic as well, too. When I was 15, I was severely burned in a kitchen fire, and I got an epiphany, and I knew that my pathway that God had chosen for me was to become a medical doctor. Having no one in the family ever gone to college, my parents didn't know how to navigate that or to help me, although they were both very intelligent and self-educated people. So I actually left home at 16. I got a job. I enrolled in San Antonio Junior College. I enlisted in the Army at age 18, and I just kept working at night and going to school during the day until I got a degree in nursing, a master's in education. Ultimately, I was able to get a medical degree and become a physician. I also stayed in the military and spent 24 years both active duty and reserve, going from enlisted to lieutenant colonel when I retired after 24 years in the military. And throughout all of that process, I think my faith really helped me to navigate through unforeseen circumstances, through failures, through mistakes, through obstacles, and really provided for me the grit and tenacity that I needed to succeed. And so I think having that faith and that hope that you can overcome circumstances, and that, obstacles and failures don't define who they are, they just make a stronger character, really helped support me all throughout my life and throughout this process of the election and the campaign as well.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of that with us. Please keep us posted. Dr. Mariannette Miller-Meeks, thanks again.
Thank you so much.